Okay, Reggie, before we get started on this week's questions and comments, do you have anything that you want to speak about?
No. Just shout out once again to you, Geminis. Already shouted y'all once, so we won't go into it too much. And also, you gay pride supporters. Uh, I hear this is y'all month, so shout out to y'all. And hey, it's funny that y'all get a whole month, and fathers and mothers only get one day. But hey, who am I to judge? But other than that, we'd like to also promote. We got a new program going on for the Loyal Bomb First listeners for $4.99 a month, starting right after Father's Day. So we want y'all to subscribe. If we get enough subscribers, we're going to do a new program where you can get the segments that John and I do. You know, we do them about every 10 days, generally every Sunday. So every Monday, new episodes come out, or at the worst, at the minimum, every other Monday. But we're going to start giving y'all those in advance, the whole 2 weeks of tapings that we do. We usually do anywhere from 10 to 14 tapings before we tape again. So for $4.99, you can get those in advance. We're going to slip in some extra surprises for you. And things that people that subscribe to Bomb First usually really wants over here. Unseen Tupac footage. Maybe even some music here and there. But some unseen stuff. And some stuff to make y'all, it's worth y'all while to be subscribed to Bomb First for that $4.99 a month. And so, appreciate it if y'all subscribe to that. Mainly for those of y'all that like to get hour and a half contents like we used to do with the live streams. And y'all can just run them and ride in your car, driving at work, and listen to Bomb First. So other than that, that's about it, Big John. Let's get going.
Okay. Suge released episode 18 of his podcast this past week. I just wanted to see if you had any overall thoughts or if anything stood out to you in that podcast. I have some questions we'll ask about, but overall, did anything stick out to you?
Well, I noticed on his trailer, he put a picture of me when he was talking about, undercover cops or off-duty cops working for him. But then when he put out his full version, he pulled it down and took the picture out of me. So I don't know, see? So I'm kind of scared to really go into my normal lately hate or disrespecting of Suge because, I don't know, maybe he did what me and him have been negotiating with people in the background to do to lay off the BS and just keep it factual. Maybe that's what he was doing. But, so I'm going to lay off a little bit, but I ain't going to lay off too much because I got to call a ball, a strike, a strike. The only thing that I really noticed, and I'll let you answer me the questions on some later episodes, but the one thing I like to bring up first is towards the end of his episode, right? And I think y'all might be getting a surprise, a quicker response from him because I did notice where it said to be continued. Y'all didn't catch that. And so that means that he might have shortened it up and we might be getting an episode quicker this week other than 15 days we've been getting them. But the one thing I noticed that he did or said is now because I tell y'all about my boy Suge, when he get mad at you, and I got it too. I told y'all, most of my training and my way of thinking and stuff like that comes from my daddy. Nah, because he's totally different than I. But from Suge, we kind of think alike and tap at people alike. And so I know when he get vindictive, and I was like, damn. You remember he used to say, y'all remember he did this interview on TMZ?
Bitch ass Puffy can give him a mother star, and every rat in the world said he didn't want to kill Tupac.
Yep.
Or had him shot.
All right. So that's when he was talking about blaming Tupac and pretty much saying Tupac, not blaming Tupac, but blaming Diddy for the murder of being involved in the murder of Tupac and Keefy D. He didn't say their names, but he said guys that were doing interviews, and Keefy D was the only one doing interviews talking about it. As he said in that taping. But then I hear him say this.
This is the first time in my career where they said, "Do you want to meet such and such?" And I said, "Yeah," and I started walking that way. And as I was getting down the hallway, this is a true story, I said, "Nah."
Better not.
And went and got back in the car.
Really?
Swear. I don't know what it was.
Do you think you?
And I made a joke at first. I was like, who don't want to meet the guy that got Tupac killed?
And so I'm like, damn, this nigga is back saying Diddy's responsible. Because he say how Jelly Roll is one of his new favorite singers, because how Jelly Roll didn't want to meet Puffy because he knew he had something involved with the death of Tupac. But then if y'all go listen to all his previous episodes, he been saying Crooked Cops or Sharitha or Reggie or Snoop Dogg was involved in the murder of Tupac. So what I'm getting from all of this, y'all, is Mr. Knight is sitting in jail, in prison, and whenever he has a problem with somebody, he's blaming for having something to do with the murder of Tupac. And so people, when I'm saying he trying to insert himself in the investigation, a lot of people are getting mad and like, what you mean he inserting himself in the investigation? Shit, he was a victim too, which I agree. He has the right. No, he doesn't have the right to say anything. So all of y'all that believe he has the right to say this or say that because he was also a victim, don't agree with y'all on that. And so that's what I meant by inserting himself in the investigation, because the DA knows Suge has all of these conflicting stories that he done said, that Tupac's still alive, Snoop Dogg did it, Reggie did it, Sharitha did it, Keefy and them did it. How he mixed up the name Baby Lane and Orlando. Suge is a witness that a defense attorney would love to have on the stand because it confuses the jury. They don't have all of this history and know all the other things that how Suge just been vindictive and stuff. They would just ask those things and that's all the jury will be able to hear. And so that's why I say he's trying to insert himself in an investigation that the DA doesn't want him involved in. But the defense attorney hearing all of this stuff. And so that's why they on a gas trying to get Suge to come. And so I'm taking Suge now and is realizing, hey, I got to start blaming this shit back on Diddy and Keefy and them so they leave me alone. Which he knows the truth. Anybody with a brain knows it's the truth. I know it's a few of you trolls and you small bus helmet riding motherfuckers that's in the comment section that, oh, Reggie did it, oh, this one did it and all of that, because I got so much control over Keefy D where he gonna be copping out to a murder on at least 3 or 4 different occasions to law enforcement. Y'all like to just put it on Greg Kading's, not just to Greg Kading's, to Vegas PD as well. Before this YouTube stuff started and before he was able to start making money on YouTube and writing books, they have other statements other than just Greg Kading, since y'all want to make Greg Kading's the crooked, dirty cop or just the one that's getting tricked. Then why did he make those same statements to Vegas PD, which y'all going to find out and y'all going to be like, oh, okay. But I know it's still a few of you small helmet people, wearing motherfuckers that, have your opinion. But the majority of us, anybody that's really involved that has some sense, have y'all heard one person with credibility that's on YouTube from LA with credibility that ever said that it wasn't guys from the Southside Compton Crips that had something to do with the murder of Tupac? Have y'all? Tell me one credible person. Tell me one. And I'll rest my case. So to answer your question, John, that's what I'm getting from the interviews, and I'm like, damn, dog. Damn, dog. You gonna go out like that? He did a song, You Never Had a Friend Like Me. A lot of people believe it was about you and his relationship. That's the friend you want to be, dog. I ain't telling you to be a snitch. I know you big on that. Not being a snitch publicly. But you can just remain silent. You ain't got to say shit. No comment. I have nothing to say on the matter. Let law enforcement do their job, as you said on Nightline. That's their job. Let them do their job. Peace bomb first.
This last week, it came out that a grand jury may be convening to investigate the Diddy allegations and possible charges against him. Did you hear about this, and do you have any thoughts or reaction to it, the news?
Yeah, y'all funny to me. Y'all funny to me. I ain't told y'all what's going on, what's going to be happening. I didn't compare the Donald Trump situation when when they went and did the search warrants, grand jury was assembled, and then they got indicted, right? I compared the Keefe D situation, did a search warrant, do a grand jury, indictment coming. I told y'all, 4 months ago when all this broke? It wasn't 4 months ago. But I said 4 months ago, 4 months there will be an arrest done by Mr. Combs. I told y'all the reason why I said 4 months, because of all the things that had to happen. The search warrant, which happened right after I said it was going to happen. And then the grand jury part, which is happening now. And it's the beginning of June 2024. I can guarantee y'all by the end of August, I'm not saying he will be in custody, because I believe he's going to either run like Russell or he's going to commit. I don't believe Puffy is the type of man that can set up and go to court and try to fight this. I believe people are going to advise him to do that because attorneys does that. They do that until it's over, and then they want to drain you. And then once they get all the money they can make, it, that's their job. You know, that's how they make a living. That's how they put their kids through school, pay their secretaries and their side bitches, and, ride around in cars. So, yeah, they're going to drain him. But they're going to advise him or attempt to or want to do that. I don't think Puffy is strong enough to sit in that county jail.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
I don't know about you guys, but I grew up almost exclusively on cereal as a kid. And as I got older, my dietary habits changed, and I kind of missed some of those flavors, so I'm glad I found the sponsor of today's video, Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is the high-protein cereal with 0 grams of sugar per serving. Magic Spoon fits a variety of lifestyles because it's keto-friendly, grain-free, and gluten-free. It's got all the flavor you remember as a kid, but with 0 grams of sugar and lots of protein. Magic Spoon has 140 calories per serving, 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 to 5 net carbs per serving. Scan the QR code or go to magicspoon.com/bombfirst and enter the coupon BOMBFIRST to get $5 off any order. While you're there, make sure you grab a variety pack with all the flavors like fruity, frosted, cocoa, and peanut butter. Peanut butter is my favorite, but you let me know what yours is. Remember, Magic Spoon is 100% happiness guarantee. So if for any reason you don't like the cereal, just contact their customer support and they'll give you a full refund.
And go through that, because trust me, if they indict federally, all the accusations and the way they've been making him the monster and all the tapes and stuff we done saw, he's not going to be able to, get a bail. I don't care how much it is. And because he can come up with a $25, $30 million bill. But the thing will be, he's still a flight risk. And y'all see, he already going into public pressure. He had a daughter. This is one of the happiest times of your life, when your kid's graduating from high school and, being rich. Family time is more important than anything with people. He seems and appears to love his kids. I'll give him that. His daughter graduated from high school last week. He couldn't go. He didn't go. Respectfully, he didn't go, because he know it would have turned the high school graduation into a big spectacle. And so I applaud him for bowing out and not going there. But I'm just bringing up things like that to show that he's already trying to diss himself and understand that, okay, this shit is real. Why is he walking outside the gate at his house, y'all? Why is he doing that? He's trying to feel y'all, get a temperature, get a temp, and see where y'all head is. Got a picture of his daddy and him on a chain. Trying to see where y'all temperature, feel the temperature. Outside the gate is TMZ and Paparazzi, or however y'all say that word. And standing out there taking pictures, photographers. I'll use the old name word. Photographers sitting outside taking pictures, waiting to see. His property in his backyard is big enough where he can go and take walks. But he got to do that. That's a guy that's checking the temperature. Did y'all see his face? Did y'all see how he was looking? That's a man that's fearful, scared. Puffy would never sit in no jail cell. He's going to either try to run or he's going to go and meet his maker.
Did you see on Suge's podcast where he spoke about him and Tupac having a conversation about undercover cops working as security and how they infiltrated death row?
Saw that. Suge and I had that conversation. And we didn't care. Our whole thing was, yeah, that's possible. But are you that stupid? Are we that stupid? Were you going to be doing something in front of the known cops and all of that? I know y'all want to believe that these were crooked cops. And all these cops were crooked and all this. That wasn't what their position or their job was supposed to be. I know you motherfucking, what I call y'all, you conspirators say, oh, yeah, Reggie, we believe you now. You didn't know David Mack and Rafael Perez and y'all. Suge just dealt with them. That was his other team. I kind of heard, the old white man that used to be on YouTube saying stuff like that. Like, oh, yeah, he just kept them away from you. He kept those ones away. Okay. But my point is, we didn't care. We heard about Kevin Hackey. You don't think we knew about Kevin Hackey and what he was trying to do and stuff? We didn't care. I had a guy named Glenn, what was that guy? Long Beach cop. I knew when he came, they had told all my Long Beach cops that they couldn't work for a while. And then all of a sudden they was like, oh, we can come back. And we got a new guy we wanted to hire. Glenn, Glenn, I can't think of Glenn's last name. That nigga would never cash his check. It would take 3 to 4 weeks before he cashed his check. Didn't care. Like, okay, who's stupid enough to do something in front of him? So, and that wasn't the job to do something. The only thing, the worst I ever seen was slaps. Somebody might got pushed or slapped or something like that, and more than half the time, they deserved it if you want to keep it real. So, not the females. We'll talk about that later, because I do owe a lot of females apologies now seeing what's been going on. But, man, I guess Suge didn't listen to it, or Suge knew. He knew me, but if I was an informant or a plant and all of that, I guess I did a good job at that. Because I don't remember one motherfucking thing where anybody ever damn near went to jail on something that we testified for, or I testified for, against. Can't think of one thing. But y'all believe if I was, that I don't know shit? Oh, my God. But anyway, so Tupac come from Black Panther training. Of course he thinks that way. But I know all the people that hates Reggie and believe all of that stuff. They love Frank Alexander. So was Tupac double talking? If y'all believe what Frank said? Frank said he was going to quit and he was going to fire Right Way, and he didn't want to deal with Right Way no more. And but he was going to still bring and hire Frank, who's supposedly been a retired Orange County sheriff. He wasn't, but that's what we thought at the time. So he was going to bring him along? If we're going to believe everything that's been said, that's been put out there? So I guess Frank was lying there. Y'all done heard that. Tupac told him, "Oh no, Frank, you good. You will always be with me." Y'all remember Frank saying that? Man, I can tell you of at least 10 to 20 times where Tupac told me, "All right, Reg, I'm tired of this motherfucker. I need another guy. Put somebody else with me." That's why y'all see pictures with Kevin Hackey. Y'all see pictures with Frank Alexander. Y'all see pictures with Al Giddens. Y'all see pictures with Michael Moore. Y'all see pictures with all these different people, Kenneth and Marcus. That's why y'all see pictures with all these different people. Because he got tired of his security and wanted somebody different. That's just how Tupac was. So, hey, I call it extra security. I thought that's what it would have been. That's what I used to always tell them. Hopefully the feds is out there following us and watching us. Hopefully, not knowing that those motherfuckers wouldn't have did nothing. If y'all believe everything that's been reported about Biggie, that they were there. And if y'all believe the things that we even hear about Tupac, I don't believe it. But if y'all do, those of y'all that do, see, they didn't do shit either. So, that would be my take on that. That's just Suge. Suge listening to people, tapping, think he willing to tap at Reg, and then he had a change of heart, took the picture down. But did y'all notice anything? One thing I noticed about this podcast, and I'm trying to see where Suge and Dave Mays and them going with this. Every time they show Suge with females, why is it always white women next to him? In the artwork, the cartoon graphics that they do, or in the live pictures. They only find pictures with Suge with white women. Is that Dave throwing a jab? Is that Dave just only wanting to show white women? I don't know. Y'all go back and check it out. Bet y'all notice. But I'll tell you, Reg catch shit. I got shit that did go over the normal person. Yeah, Reg catch. Just wonder where that's going. I only knew Suge to date one white girl. And that was the young lady. Well, he also used to date the girl that owned True Religion. He was fucking her while she was married. And then the other girl from, yeah. That's when he was messing with Toy and Melissa. There was another white girl that was in the ring, but she eventually gave up on him. Those are the only two that I know about. But, okay. Yeah.
Going back to episode 18 of Suge's podcast, what do you think he meant when he showed the cartoon AI graphic of two women and said that they took the bait?
Play that part, because I got to catch that.
Two women took the bait. The one that caused me to lose my life, our friend needed to be in prison forever. I never said the names because the name is not the important part of it. It's the lesson that's important. They can do it to me, they can do it to you.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now, John. Yeah, see, Suge is mad at people. Suge is mad at people. And I think what it is he's getting the information incorrectly. Because I tell y'all think Suge said and be listening to all of this shit. Suge gets everything that Suge's getting, he's getting second and third handed from other people. So the people that's reporting stuff to him believe that the Teresa Swan situation happened during the first time he was incarcerated. He was a free man when that shit happened. That shit happened in 2008, 2009. But he's under the impression that it happened in 97 to 2001. Because people that's telling him this don't know what the fuck they talking about. And so that's why he threw that. The three females that was coming visiting regularly or that he could be talking about is only Sharita. Sharita came up there 2 times, and that's when I was dealing with stuff, getting them divorced. Miss Chalet, and then another female. Those are the only 3 that was coming up there. Stormy would crash every now and then to bring Lil Suge, and that used to be funny. We used to call Stormy crashing. She'd just pop up, and he'll want to see his son, so he would make the one female leave that was there with him, because he always had a female with him. Never had a visit where it wasn't a female there. And so I think he getting his information wrong. He thinks a situation that he done heard about, he's mixing up with 90, or wanting y'all to believe it happened in 97 to 2001, when y'all all know that that's alleged situation didn't happen until about 2008 to 2010 or whatever. So Suge getting bad information, misinformation, and he's mad at these particular people right now. And that's why he's throwing his little jabs. He would always play the victim. It's so funny he called his last episode accountability. I swear to y'all, the shrink, when he had to go get his evaluation, said, this man, he blames everything negative to happen in his life on others. Anything positive that happened in his life, he happily applaud and take full credit for. That's Suge Knight up and down. And it's just funny. He gonna call that episode accountability. When he don't do nothing but pass the buck. Won't blame him. And it's unfortunate. These are baby mamas that he are making the accusations against. And that nigga act like he's in prison for the murder of Biggie Small or Tupac or something like that. He's in prison for an action that he did by himself on camera. Be mad about that situation. Stop blaming everybody else for what's happening to you. You in jail, in prison, for trying to be tough guy by yourself and lost control. I'm not saying you were right or wrong, but that's what courtrooms are for. Take those motherfuckers to court if you felt they were doing something wrong. Ice Cube had told you. It told you. We're going to get this worked out. We're going to take care of this. Just like Akon. Akon told him, you always want shit on the spot. I want it right now, and I want it right now. Man. Take accountability for being impatient. That's what you need to take accountability for, dog. For being impatient. Because those men were going to pay you. They're going to look out for you. People wanted to look out people. People back then they'd rather be your friend than they'd rather be your ally than your enemy. Listen to the way they talk. But the shit that you got away with in the early 90s and 2000s just didn't work no more. And that's what you fail to realize, though. And that's where you drop the ball at. You think pushing up on people and all of that will work in the 2000s like it did in the 90s for you. But time has changed. Time changed, though. Yeah. Hope you'll learn to adapt to 2034 and not still be stuck in the 90s when you come home. Peace.
I saw a quote that D.L. Hughley posted on Instagram, or it's like a meme. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it. It basically said, if you're telling a story about something you know and you didn't do anything about it, you're not a witness, you're an accomplice. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I think he actually was talking about Gene Deal and Mark Curry on that particular quote. Well, y'all, I guess it's time for Reggie Wright to come clean on some stuff. I owe a bunch of females apologies. I owe Toya an apology. You say, why? I know people like, why you owe me an apology? All right, just think about the fourth season at the spa. That's all I'm going to say right now. I owe Stormy an apology. Think about the Vegas house, Stormy. All these stories I done told before on live streams. So don't be like, oh, well, you telling these stories now because you mad at Suge and all this. I done told these stories before. I didn't see how serious it was until I actually saw what was going on. Oh, Miss Chalet apology. Oh, Teresa Swan apology. The list can go on. And I didn't really understand it until I started seeing and hearing all of these things that's going on. Now, I would justify everything that I said by saying none of them ever. Well, first I'm going to tell y'all a story where I told y'all where me and Suge relationship went downhill. If any of y'all on these live streams, any of y'all can find it. When I told you he hit one female in front of me. And I said, hey, dog, don't do that. Man, this is like my sister now. Me and her, like, this is like my sister now, man. Don't be doing that in front of me. And he turned around to me and looked and said, this is my bitch. This is my woman. I was like, yeah. But man, we done got close now doing your incarceration because, all the things you've been having us taken care of together. And I told y'all, that's when me and Suge's relationship started really going down. But my point is, every last one of the persons that I named, and I know of other things that happened, they were sitting right with him worse than Cassidy did when she was at that award show with Puffy or that movie premiere with Puffy, hanging around taking pictures and stuff. So when you're a young guy and all of that, you be like thinking that, okay, well, I guess they not that mad. They not worried about it. Because the abusers come, well, I done went inside the mall with him right after some shit like that happened. And he spent, which was a lot of money then, ain't shit now, $10,000 to $12,000 on a bunch of purses. Bought her about 8 different purses that particular day. All red purses. I remember bought her like 12 different red purses. And she was just sitting there and then was like, okay. Nose all fucked up, bleeding, still sniffing and bleeding. But they were there and they stuck with him. So yeah, I guess I am responsible now thinking about it. Now thinking about it, I guess I do have some accountability. I wasn't law enforcement then, I was retired. I know I always say you, but trust me, I intervened on all those situations, but I never had the females want to leave. And they always like there the next day or later that day, hanging out with him. And to be honest, years and years afterwards. And so, like I said, but now understanding, being older, having daughters of my own, I owe these females apologies. Not saying that they would have even took it, because most of them still deal with the nigga, if I'm keeping it real. But I know I used to bash Gene and Mark and all of them. But I have never denied about sending slaps. My denial has always been females. Giving them females and stuff like that. Giving them, mixed drinks and all of that. I can honestly say Suge Knight ain't never did no shit like that. And I sure ain't never observed no shit like that from him. That'd be all I'll say on that subject right now. Yeah.
There's like a thing that gets brought up every couple of months, and it's been brought up recently, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. And we try to ask people to send us this, and no one's ever been able to produce it. But what do you think about people constantly saying that there is a magazine ad that came out with Suge holding Misa and Diddy's son with a death row chain around him, and that they say that this came out in an actual magazine and that they saw it?
Yeah. I've been asking people to show me that magazine, to give it. Every magazine can be found online. We showed y'all before an article where they talked about it and how they explained that it never came out and they didn't post the picture. I've told y'all that that picture was taken, told y'all that a long time ago. And so I think that's why Gene Deal always referred to it, because he used to listen to my live streams back in the day. And I think that's one of those urban myths that people believe. But I'm telling y'all, there was never been no magazine. And if there was a magazine, trust me, y'all will be able to find it online. This is 2024. Everything's on the internet. A magazine like The Source or The Vibe, every one of their covers you can find on a magazine. Double XL, Murder Doll, any of those magazines that were big at the time. And so, y'all know Suge Twitter. It was posted on his Twitter, the picture that was in there that they can only refer to and talk about. Y'all know who posted that shit. Come on, y'all keep it real. Y'all know who posted that shit. So it is factual that it happened. But I'm just telling y'all, that story that's been told about that, Wolf having the magazine in his pocket and showing it to him, and Puffy getting the veins popping out of his forehead and all of that. Show me the magazine. I can show you an article from the particular magazine saying that they didn't post it. I can show y'all pictures of the time when he playing with Little Justin or Little Wolf and in his office with Misa. I'm not going to show y'all the picture of him that everybody's been talking about, claiming to have, because hadn't been posted yet. People listening to stuff on the YouTube, listening to old stories, and making their story sound factual. I challenge y'all. Challenge any of you great researchers out there. Find it. Urban Flavor, you like to defend him. You like to argue with me on IG daily about Gene's this, Gene this, Gene that. Find it. Show me. Bet you can't. But telling y'all a lot of stories that have been told or stuff that people just heard about, believe about, adding their salt, pepper, and sometimes hot sauce to make the story more flavor, add more flavor to the story. So, once again, reiterate it, there ain't no picture. Y'all read this article. Y'all read what the magazine that supposedly posted it said. Peace.
Did you see that Jennifer Lopez canceled her U.S. tour that she had coming up, stating that she wanted to be home with her family and her kids and all that, and it was kind of like an abrupt cancellation? Did you catch that?
Yeah, I saw that. Now, and I'm sure her PR people and J.Lo has a team around her, because I'm telling you how when me and Suge was teasing that tape, talking about we had that sex tape with J.Lo, man, I tell y'all, I was in a meeting with about 10 attorneys Benny Medina, who was her manager at the time, and David Kenner. And they were threatening to sue the shit out of us if that tape came out. And so that's what we knew. We just had a few seconds. We just had probably about 10 seconds of a tape, right? We had did some things with the build around it to make it have some lookalikes and all of that, and made joke out of her getting, butt injections and all of that.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Have you heard of the flavored air category that's quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a whole new movement towards better habits, led by the sponsor of today's video, Fume. We all have bad habits, including you guys that watch this video. We all think we're doing well, but then we get around our friends and we get the urge and we don't want to feel left out. They're all reaching for their bad habits and you feel, well, why not? Well, what if I could tell you that there is a better alternative that helps you kick your bad habit in an enjoyable way, something you can take out with you and use anywhere. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Fume has no vapor. You can use it anywhere. There's no nicotine, there's no toxic flavors, there's no batteries, and it looks awesome. You can pretty much use it anywhere as a fidget or something to replace your bad habit. Go to tryfume.com/bombfirst or scan the QR code in the corner. Use code BOMBFIRST to get your free Fume base when you order your journey pack today. Shout out to Fume for being the sponsor of today's video.
And so we did a lot of that stuff to it to make it longer, to make the tape seem longer. But they told me, okay, put it out. And they scared the shit out of us. Now, Suge let Gotti think later on that he stopped it from coming out and all that. But to be honest, that meeting in Central City Parkway is what made us say, yeah, we ain't trying to take on that fight right now. And so I'm saying that to say J.Lo got some tapes out there, y'all. Because she was fearful. I'm telling y'all, if y'all would have seen that attack we were under. And I like J.Lo. Well, as Gene Deal say, Miss Lopez. He would not call. He called every black woman and every other woman Kim, Misa. Whenever you say Jennifer name, he's Miss Lopez. What's up with that? You need a job? You trying to get a job working for J.Lo, man? But I just find that strange how those brothers do our own women. But anyway, I think J.Lo is one of the first ones that have been contacted by the grand jury, y'all. And that shit is stressful to her. Because, y'all gonna say, her and Ben Affleck going through this shit. Man, J.Lo done broke up with niggas about 5 or 6 times. She still make her money, right? J.Lo, that's how you get over somebody. Get your mind off stuff and go do some other stuff. But when you get in contact by the authorities talking about they got some tapes, or you gonna be subpoenaed before the grand jury, that'll make you stop your tour and make you go and be like, whoa. Reggie's opinion. Don't know this. Just we'll see. If y'all see her, hear about her being before the grand jury, then y'all know why she abruptly canceled her tour. Because she done broke up with A-Rod. She done broke up with Ben about 3 times that I know about. If not more. She done broke up with that, what's my boy? The boy, the Mexican singer. She done broke up with Puffy. She dropped him. She don't seem to have... J.Lo could have any man she wants just about. And so, worrying about breaking up with a dude is not on J.Lo's mind. But being possibly some tapes coming out that can't get leaked because they know people within the government, as we saw they did to Cassie. That tape come out with her and Puffy doing something with another man or another female. She don't want that image out there. And so, or whatever else. Or maybe she was a victim. Maybe she was abused by Puffy. I doubt that. I don't see Puffy slapping on J.Lo. She dropped him too quick behind, getting her photos taken. Well, I guess possibly getting arrested for and being involved in a shooting for some stupid shit. Because that was what ultimately made her get rid of him. But I guess that would make you leave him quicker than maybe saying that he's a bitch. I heard he left her stranded and out of that club. And so, when a female see that the bitch come out of you, it's hard for them to get their wet after they see stuff like that. It's hard for them to be still attractive to you. But hey, like I said, I like J.Lo. I like Jenny from the Block. I love my favorite stand-up show that Jamie Foxx did was when and she said, hey, I'm J.Lo now. Don't call me Jennifer. Jamie Foxx said, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I call you J.Lo now. But I remember back in the day when it was, hey, ho. That's because she used to work on the set of In Living Color. But I know I go too deep for a lot of you youngsters. But hey, yeah, my thing would be the reason that tour got canceled is not behind love. It's behind this Puffy BS. I really hope they don't elect to leak any tapes on her because I really like J.Lo. Peace, Mom, first.
Rolling Stone magazine came out with an article where they had done like a 6-month investigation into Diddy and people that worked for him and were around him. One of the things that came out in that article was that after Biggie passed away, they reached out to Diddy and they wanted to, get Biggie on the cover, as like as a tribute. And they wanted to talk about Biggie's album, and Puffy allegedly said, I have an album coming out. Biggie's dead. Put me on the cover. Did you see that? And do you have any thoughts or any logic as to why you feel like he would do something like that?
Shout out Kurt Burrows. He not back over there on the Dialogue Show yet. Today is Sunday that we taping this. Don't know when this particular episode going to post. But today is Sunday, June the 2nd. Bet y'all. I bet y'all Kurt Burrows is on his way to art show or already going on over there. But shout out. Kurt been laying it out. Kurt Burrows been on, and he seemed to be pretty sincere or genuine. He kind of hiding some of the things that Christopher Williams get blamed for. I know he was the one that allegedly did those things, but he was Puffy's ride or die, and then they became enemies and had to sue each other, or he had to sue Puff because how dudes do when they think they the ones and they try to X you out and kick you out. He did that to our boy Kurt Burrows. My take would be that, well, Suge Knight told y'all, right? Suge Knight told y'all how Puffy was or is when he said Puffy wanted to be the star, right? That appeared to be what Puffy agenda was, to be the star. And him blow up and him, be on the magazine covers instead of Biggie. I remember the Rolling Stones, y'all don't know how big that magazine was back in the 90s, especially for urban rappers and stuff like that. They all wanted to be on the Rolling Stones. Tupac's biggest complaint about Papa G, and y'all know Papa G. Y'all done heard Papa G interviews, and y'all know how vibrant of a personality he was. And he used to always say, that PR guy ain't no good. You know, like he talk about everybody, security, everybody, you know, Tupac be who Tupac is. And he can't even get me on the cover of the Rolling Stones. He can't get me on the cover of the Rolling Stones. And unfortunately, Tupac did get on the cover of the Rolling Stones. But guess what had to happen for him to get on the cover of the Rolling Stones? He had to die. So I think that's where the Rolling Stones was going. We're trying to get Biggie, you know. They figure, okay, let's get Biggie on the Rolling Stones now. And Puffy being who he was and wanting to be the star, as the one thing I do agree with Gene on, the one thing I do agree with Suge Knight on, where he said was always Puffy's agenda, was to be the star and not just the executive producer or the executive of the label. And so that's why Puffy did what he did. Now, some people will be like, well, Suge did it too. Yeah, Suge kind of did it a little bit. He became Suge Knight and Death Row. And then on the cover of the U.S. magazine, you remember? He had a big article that was done on him. They followed Suge around for 2 to 3 weeks. I remember it was a female reporter that followed him around. But guess who he put on the magazine cover with him? He put Snoop and Tupac on the cover with him. So I guess that's how Puffy should have at least took it, where it would have been Big and Puff. But Puff obviously wanted to be the star, and we saw it, and that's what eventually happened. And now, if it's true that's what's coming out about Biggie about to leave, I don't believe that. I believe that they were about to sign a big deal. You know, everybody lately been saying Biggie was about to leave and go be with Big On and Atlantic Records. No, I believe Gene Deal's story when he said he saw a contract for $75 million that Big was about to sign. And so people saying that, and then they forget about the stories that they told, what they saw the contract for $75 million that they were about to re-up with Arista Records. So that would be my take. It's obvious Puff had a plan, and hey, that was his plan. What would your feelings, or what your take is about the different magazine covers and stuff, John?
I don't really even have one, to be honest.
Diddy
did become a huge star after Biggie passed. I mean, that album, he had about five or six singles off that album that all.
Well, that every single that Missing You song. Yeah. Even though I and it sounded like a lot. I saw an interview where Sting said how Puffy had to pay him $2,000 a day for that song. Uh-huh. But if you average up $2,000 a day times 365, right? That's only what, $750,000, almost $775 or whatever. That's not a lot of money for the amount of shows. He could have cleared that up just for 2 or 3 shows. So I don't think that was a bad investment. I think, didn't Puffy end up buying that song from him? I forget the business on that. But if he's paying that man $775,000 a year, I think it still was worth the deal. But that song and that video, in my opinion, is what helped Puffy blow his career and helped him out a lot.
Yeah. I definitely agree. The only thing that I'm not sure, because I don't really follow the Biggie stuff a lot, but from what I remember with Gene saying that $75 million deal that Biggie was going to sign was outside of Bad Boy. It was going to be
with Arista? No.
yeah,
I mean, with
it was
Atlantic.
gonna
With
have
Atlantic.
Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, the commission or whatever group it was. It wasn't for Biggie. It was for
No, it
Biggie
was the
to
deal.
have his own tax.
If what you're saying is true, it would have been the deal with Big On, and they wasn't giving Big On and them no $75 million. Atlanta wasn't doing it. Put it this way, Death Row having Tupac, Snoop, and their catalog and their success, their deal was only for $120 million during that time. I can't see them giving Biggie and them and then Charlie Baltimore and Junior Mafia and all of them $75 million. But I'm sure you'd probably be right, but I would have to question that. I would have to really question that because they wasn't giving out money like that then. Yeah.
Reggie, did you see on Suge's podcast where he spoke about a month ago that he learned that Jimmy Iovine had came up to the prison and tried to start an argument with him because he was wearing a wire and they was trying to incriminate Suge? Did you see that?
Yeah, I heard that. You know what? As much as I want to say that Suge making up shit on that, I remember something like that. Now, Suge know the real. Suge know the real what happened. Suge did. What happened was Jimmy was having a hard time getting into prison. Because you used to have to get searched when you go through the metal detectors and all of that. I mean, the females couldn't wear wires in their bras. They used to have to wear sports bras. Couldn't wear jeans because the inmates wore jeans. Couldn't wear green pants. They had all type of rules that we used to have to go by. And as we know now, we didn't know this then, but Jimmy Iovine always wore a baseball cap. Always. So I guess Suge watched the movie, y'all remember the guy in The Sopranos? You don't watch this show, John, with The Sopranos, because I know you're a big Sopranos fan, where the guy was trying to take Tony and he had the baseball cap on. And the guy that owned the sporting goods store, you remember? And he was trying to tape Tony by wearing the baseball cap. So I guess Suge gonna watch the Sopranos while he said the jail or something. And he was like, oh, that's what Jimmy was trying to do. Because Jimmy was making a big old argument about wearing this baseball cap inside the prison and coming in there. Now, as we all know now, Jimmy is bald-headed, right? We didn't know in the 90s that he had a toupee on. And so Jimmy having this toupee on and he didn't want to expose that was the real reason that Jimmy was arguing about wearing that baseball cap and keeping that baseball cap on. And so that's where Suge's getting that shit at. Jimmy was trying to tape him and getting the threatening him, all of that. Jimmy could have did what he eventually did to Suge if he wanted to. And that means broke him. Just stop fucking with him. Stop giving him money. We didn't have a deal with Interscope when Jimmy was still coming up there. It was when he came up there was the negotiation I told y'all about with the Chronic album with the name Chronic 2001. Well, it eventually became Chronic 2001 when we both was fighting over using the name Chronic 2000. It's what Jimmy was coming up there to work out with Suge. But the main reason why Jimmy was arguing with the people at the was because he didn't want to take off his hat because he didn't want us to see the toupee that he had on. So, if y'all know anything about Jimmy, back then in the 90s, he always had a baseball cap on. And that's because he had a toupee. And now he just straight bald. He just took it all off and he just wear it and wear a bald head, which, he's still, doing what he doing. But there was rumbles about that. Me and Suge and whoever was the lady friend, Michelle, or the other female, whoever was there that particular day, he did say some stuff like, oh, Jimmy up here trying to pick an argument with me and taping and all of that. But Jimmy wasn't on that page. They had already did what they wanted to do to Suge. They had got out of business with him. They had pretty much had control over Tupac. They could have had Snoop. They didn't want Snoop at the time. And they were away from us and having to give Suge that $1.5 million a month that was guaranteed to him. And so that's Suge being vindictive because, and I get it. Seeing how Dre living financially and how Suge is the real reason of the Jimmy's relationship, because Suge and John McClane and all of them, Dick Griffey and all of them is the ones that really met and nurtured the relationship with Jimmy, and now Jimmy winning or financially, him and Dre together. Dare I say it? It's like the wife that leaves you and upgraded and doing better, doing better with her new dude. Well, when y'all hear Suge talking about Jimmy and Dre, just put yourselves in that situation. Sitting in jail, in a cell, telling tales, and doing videos with Eminem riding down the street, Batman and Robin. Don't y'all love that new Eminem song? I do. I love the old Slim Shady. So that's what y'all got to remember Suge Knight is saying. And shout out Dre, shout out him, and shout out Jimmy Iovine.
David Ruffin did an interview recently, and he spoke on a number of topics. I wanted to see if you could tell our audience who he was, and also kind of react to a story he told where him and Dre went, they were invited to a party by some white guys, and they kind of went through the backyard or whatever, and there was a bunch of like naked guys there, and he acted like it really angered him. So could you tell who he was and what you thought about the segment if you heard it?
I saw it one time. I went to a party with Dre. We all left though. One time I went to a party with Dre, somebody who invited him, and it was some white dude, and it was somebody who had a lot of money. And we went to this party, and we went into the backyard. We went in through the back. He called himself bringing us in through the back. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we walked in, it was just kind of like a lot of naked women, but naked dudes too. Mm. Mm.
Eyes wide shut type of stuff.
Like, for me to say this is, I don't mean it to be racist, but if you're white enough, it's like, what the hell?
Well, David Ruffin is a big writer for the Motown back in the days. But you mean David Ruffin Jr., which is the one doing the interview that was around Death Row. Well, David Ruffin Jr., according to Michelet, he was always rumored to be Dr. Dre's, the guy that I would say, like, we think of Eddie Murphy and Johnny Gill. The guy that always lived in the back house or lived in the house with you as an adult and grown man. Well, that's what he was before Bruce. Y'all know Bruce is. That's who David Ruffin Jr. was to Dr. Dre. Now, he was there at the beginning. He was there way before I was around. And I contribute to some songs and stuff like that because his dad was a big time songwriter. And so that's what David Ruffin Jr. was, also a songwriter, for Death Row at the beginning. So all I can say about David Ruffin Jr., all I know about David Ruffin Jr. is that he was always rumored to be Dr. Dre, a lover or somebody that was cool with Dre in that capacity. The stories that he tell about going to a party and seeing guys naked and all of that stuff, well, hey, who goes to those type of parties and stay there, right? As soon as you see one person or one male walking around naked, don't you be out of there? Did he say he left? Did he say he left the party? Him and Dre? You only get invited to those type of parties if you suspect it to be in that way. And so that would be my take from what had happened or about with David Ruffin Jr. and Dr. Dre.
Trady did an interview with Vlad where Vlad asked him if he felt that Tupac stole Snoop's shine when he came to Death Row, and Trady said he didn't feel that he did. I wanted to get your thoughts on that question, on if you feel like when Tupac arrived that he took the spotlight or the shine from Snoop.
I think it was eventually starting to happen, but it hadn't happened as of September. I mean of July. Because I always tell y'all, even at the House of Blues concert, who closed the show? And that was Snoop. Now, of course, if Dollfather would have came out, we would have heard that production on Dollfather. I don't think Pac would have probably let Snoop put that Dollfather album out like that. I think he would have been like, after they heard the final version, I think they would have probably pulled the Dollfather album. That's how bad of an album I think the Dollfather was, personally. Now, it could be also that, him and Pac's album came out a week apart, and that could have took some of the shine from Snoop, in my opinion, because Machiavelli did much better than Tupac. Than Snoop songs on the Dogfather. Even the singles. And Snoop was there to work those singles and do the radio promotion and do videos and stuff. Where Pac was only able to do really to Live and Die LA music video for Machiavelli. As far as personalities, of course, Tupac's personality outshined anyone in the music business because of how he was. That dude was personable. He had charm, charisma. He had that Black Panther training. He had that street knowledge from hanging around Big Psych and later on those mob dudes, and the Oakland dudes, and New York and Baltimore dudes. I mean, that dude was well traveled. He had surroundings by all different type of cultures and people. He did a little bit of prison time. I mean, the stuff that man experienced and did in 25 years on this earth, just those things alone, y'all just don't know that the experience, and then also in the music business, I mean, in the movie world that he did, working with those type of actors that he actually worked with. So that would be my take on why Tupac's personality and his charisma was over everyone's that's in the business. Just the things that Tupac, the experience that he went through in life at the age of 25 and in the 90s, other than Michael Jackson, I don't think it was any star that was bigger than Tupac Shakur at that point. Now, I always say Snoop was a bigger rap star, or his music was known, and he was known worldwide more because of his music at that point, but that was just music. But that wasn't in the streets. That wasn't on the East Coast, and that wasn't in the movie business and stuff like that. Tupac was the superstar by far over Snoop Dogg in 1996. And then we know what he did later on. I mean, Tupac still in 2024, I don't even think Drake's resume, I can't think of anyone whose resume is still today better than Tupac Shakur's resume. as far as being in prison, which is not a big thing, but it's a thing because it's a different part of learning or education that we have to go through. In the movie business, who have starred, you may say LL Cool J and stuff like that, but other than LL, who has starred in more movies than Tupac? Yeah, okay, you'll say Ice Cube, maybe, okay. But their movies and acting career may be bigger than Tupac's was with, the 5 movies that he did. But I don't think uh, their music career can come up to their street credibility. These guys only know regionally. You got Baltimore want to claim Tupac. You got New York want to claim Tupac. You got Oakland that would fight you for Tupac. And then you got towards the end Compton or the mob that will fight you about Tupac. Can y'all tell me what Ice Cube neighborhood is named, really, where he's from? Y'all just say South Central LA. Most of y'all think Ice-T was born in LA. Ice-T and still to this day from New Jersey. So I get the question, and I get where people say, that Tupac hadn't outshined Snoop and all of that. I get it. Because musically, I agree. He eventually did, especially after the Dollfather came out and Machiavelli came out. But not before, not when you put everything together, meaning his acting career, meaning his street life, his thug image, his market ability, his movies, his music. Now, it'd be hard for me to put Drake, Eminem, even 50 Cent on what he's doing in the movie business over Tupac. Jay-Z maybe gets him on the management side because of what he did with, with the touring and all of that and doing with the NFL currently and all of that. But look who names he still mentioned with. 50, who we know doing things. Puffy, who had his little brief run. And even Jay-Z. And Ice Cube. You can still debate, and LL Cool J, you can still debate and have an argument with Tupac where his career pretty much stopped in 1996 to what these gentlemen are doing in 2024. So, musically, Trey D's right. But if you want to take musically out, and other than Q, or maybe Jay-Z, who can we even say family-wise? Because a lot of those guys, and I didn't even mention Dr. Dre, but we know Dre is only, did it on the technology side. I don't think any of his music can hold up to Tupac, and I definitely know his acting career can't. But, hey, Tupac, if we had to make a list, would definitely be just from his little career from 91 to 96 would still outreign a lot of the guys in the urban rap genre, in my opinion. And yeah, that would be my take on that. And I understand the question was really basic, and I took it a little deeper, where they just really was talking about musically. But I know I took it a little deeper. But musically, they probably was neck to neck until Dogfather came out and Machiavelli came out.
Before Tupac came around, did Suge and Snoop ever hang the way Tupac and Suge hung out?
Not to my knowledge, no. The person that was really around Suge a lot before Tupac came around was Danny Boy, if I'm keeping it real. He was the artist that Suge would take places and give exposure to, as you see with him on the stage, being with him on the stage and stuff like that. Snoop has always had his own entourage, and Suge had his entourage. And the thing about Suge was and almost blend in like one of the big homies. He used to be sitting in first class on the planes, and people would think, what are you, a professional football player? Who are you? I remember I told the story 100 times, but we went to a strip club, and they told the stripper to sit on, the rich guy, the millionaire lap. And she was the last person of the five guys who the stripper sat on lap. Because she didn't have no idea who Suge Knight was. And she sat on a bunch of broke nigga laps. And the comedian laughed, or the DJ, the host laughed and said, "You sit on every broke nigga lap in here except the rich one. You could have had a chance to sit on the rich nigga lap." I mean, that's how it was. That's why I honestly believe it became Suge Knight and Death Row, because Suge had a hard time getting noticed. And what good is it to be rich and single if you can't pull the hotties or the groupies? Is what I experienced that started kind of bothering me.
Yeah. Okay, Reggie, everybody has kind of their own opinion about this, and I wanted to get yours. But for people that want to debate it, what do you think is the difference between what Chris Brown did versus what Diddy did?
Yeah. I think what I saw and observed is Chris Brown is a one-time offender. And it appears that Puffy was a habitual offender. Now, Chris Brown's situation, we all hear and heard that we believe that he found out that Rihanna was messing around and sleeping with somebody and gave him herpes. If y'all don't know, that was the root of what why Chris Brown was so upset and lost it the way he did. So that's what my take would be on Chris Brown, would be because, and he had a hard time recovering his career from it. He lost a lot of things, endorsements, and probably lost a lot of shows that he could have did, was banned from the Grammys. I don't think I've seen him at a Grammy award show yet or been nominated for a Grammy since then. I'm not sure, but I don't remember, and I think he should have been. He was the golden child at the time. And Puffy situation, man, is Puffy. I understand. I know I'm fucked up in the head and having daughters and all of that. I understand domestic violence. Not domestic violence where it's ongoing and keep going. Well, I understand people getting slapped here and there. Not what we saw with Cassie. There's no explanation, no excuse for what happened to Cassie, especially the kick to the head. Y'all just don't know how that could have went either way with a kick to the head. Yeah. So I'm not just sitting up here justifying and making an excuse for women that's been domestic violence, or men, or anyone that's in those type of situations. But I have seen them. They have happened. There's somebody you know. Your mama and daddy probably done been in those situations before, where they done got hit and then hit and now, and then you grew from it, grown from it. Hopefully. Continuance is the problem to me. Oh, and y'all liar. And any female, any male on here that said that's older, over 35, 40, said that they ain't never hit a female or been hit by a female. You's a motherfucking lie. You gonna say it, I know it, but you're a lie. Fortunately, I haven't hit because I was at 18, 19 years old, been working in law enforcement, and I knew that was one way I would lose my job. But I done been slapped. I done been hit by a female before, you know? And so those situations happen, and I know of situations that have happened with my sisters and my daughters and all of that, and it bothered the hell out of me. But I learned, and I had to learn, that you kind of have to stay out of it if it's not a continuing situation. Because then, now you hating this particular person, and they back together, hugging and kissing and loving each other. I'm telling y'all, it has happened. As a law and police officer, the first thing they used to train us is be careful. We be going to houses and situations, and once we go to put the handcuffs on the person, guess who's coming on our backs, beating us up? Oh, don't take him to jail, don't take him to jail. The person that called you and got you there. I mean, they train you. They train you as a cop to be prepared. Watch her. Because once you see that meal ticket or that money or that person going out the door, she's going to react in a way and turn against you. I mean, the victims, you wouldn't be able to finish the police report. They down there at the station trying to post bail to get him out. Or to tell the watch commander that didn't happen, that they were lying, that they made it up. So I'm saying all that to say, I understand people have bad days. When it's a habitual situation, when it's ongoing and continuous, and you got a lot of these accusations against it, it's when I have a problem with. But my main problem with Puffy, my main problem for him is that he's fighting the homosexuality. So he's treating people and tricking females and sleeping with females, knowing he's been sleeping with other men and exposing them to HIV. That's the main thing. But more importantly, that it's alleged that these people are underage. It's a big no-no to me. Big no-no to me. But thirdly and more importantly, that he was people to do it. He was making them not be consensual to whatever he was doing with it, because we know once people get under the influence or something, especially if it's a that make you have no conscience or whatever, that's just outright wrong. We haven't heard Chris Brown been accused of anything like that. But we have heard this on numerous occasions about Puffy Combs. So for those that out there compare Chris Brown and Chris Brown's situation to Puffy, you're wrong. You're wrong. We haven't heard of Chris Brown's situation being habitual, continuance, with kids. So that would be my take. That would be why I don't have a problem with Chris Brown, or why you never really heard me speaking on Chris Brown negatively or anything like you have heard me speak on Puffy Combs.